Runtime target asterisk 8 to 10 minutes. Tone asterisk raw. Dark before the dawn. The mirror moment that changed everything. In 1999, a man looked in the mirror and saw someone he hated. He was 297 pounds. He'd failed out of the Air Force. He was working as an exterminator, spraying cockroaches in people's kitchens for $11 an hour. He had a learning disability that made him think he was stupid. He had sickle cell trait. He was drinking every night just to fall asleep. His name was David Goggins. And that mirror moment was the beginning of the most brutal self-transformation in human history. This is the come up. The come up. David Goggins, before the Goggins. Let's get one thing straight. David Goggins was not born tough. He was born in 1975 in Buffalo, New York. His father, Toughness, was abusive. Not the kind of abusive you read about in a textbook. The kind where your father beats your mother in front of you. The kind where you learn to flinch before you learn to read. When Goggins was in second grade, his mother finally left. She took David and his brother and moved to Indiana. They lived in a one-bedroom apartment. His mother worked multiple jobs. Goggins struggled in school. He had a learning disability, what would later be diagnosed as ADHD, and the school system didn't know what to do with him. So they called him stupid. And he believed them. Here's what most people don't understand about Goggins. The man who would become famous for saying "stay hard" spent his entire childhood being told he was soft. Stupid. Not good enough. After high school, he joined the Air Force. He wanted to be a pararescue, the Air Force's elite search and rescue operators. He made it through most of training. But then the learning disability hit again. He failed the test. Not the physical test. The academic one. The Air Force discharged him. He went home. He got a job spraying bugs. He gained weight. A lot of weight. By 1999, he was 297 pounds. He was drinking. He was depressed. He was watching TV in a small apartment, eating fast food, and hating himself. And then, one night, he was watching TV. And he saw a documentary about Navy SEALs. Something clicked. Not motivation. Motivation wears off. Something deeper. Anger. Disgust. A refusal to accept that the story ended here. The next morning, Goggins woke up and did something he hadn't done in years. He went outside. And he tried to run. He made it a quarter mile. A quarter mile. The man who would later run 100-mile races couldn't run a quarter mile. But he didn't stop. He went back the next day. And the next. And the next. He called a Navy SEAL recruiter. The recruiter told him he needed to lose 106 pounds in 3 months just to be eligible to even try out. 106 pounds in 3 months. Goggins said, "Done." He lost 106 pounds in 3 months. He ate a strict diet. He ran every day. He swam. He did calisthenics. He lost the weight so fast that the military doctor thought something was wrong with him. They tested him for steroids. They tested him for drugs. They couldn't believe a human could lose weight that fast. He reported to BUD/S training, Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL, in Coronado, California. And then Hell Week began. Hell Week is 130 hours of continuous training. Cold water. Sleep deprivation. Carrying boats over your head. Running in the sand. 4 out of 5 people quit. Goggins went through Hell Week 3 times. The first time, he got sick. Pneumonia. Medical drop. The second time, he made it to the end. But he had fractured his leg during training and didn't know it. He finished Hell Week on a fractured leg. Let me say that again. He finished the hardest military training in the world on a fractured fibula. And he didn't quit. But the injury was too severe. Medical drop again. Most people would have stopped there. Twice through Hell Week. 2 medical drops. A body that was literally breaking under the pressure. Goggins went back a 3rd time. He completed Hell Week for the 3rd time. He earned his trident. He became a Navy SEAL. But BUD/S was just the beginning. Goggins went on to become an Army Ranger. A certified pull-up world record holder, 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours. An ultramarathoner who ran 100-mile races for fun. And every single one of those achievements started from the same place. The mirror. In 2005, he heard about the 9/11 attacks and the soldiers who were dying overseas. He wanted to do something. So he ran the Badwater 135, a 135-mile race through Death Valley in July, one of the hardest foot races on Earth. He had never run an ultramarathon before. He entered it with no training for that distance. He finished. In 2007, he ran the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc. In 2008, he ran the Leadville 100. In 2013, he ran 100 miles on a broken foot. Every time his body said stop, his mind said one more step. And here's the thing most people miss about Goggins. The physical achievements are impressive, but they're not the point. The point is the method. He calls it taking souls. Not other people's souls. His own. Every morning, he does the same thing. He wakes up early. He looks at the mirror. And he asks himself, who's gonna take the easy road today? And then he doesn't. David Goggins is now one of the most recognized athletes on Earth. His book Can't Hurt Me has sold over 4 million copies. His podcast episodes have hundreds of millions of views. His social media following is in the tens of millions. But here's what the highlight reels don't show. He still wakes up at 3 a.m. He still runs in the dark. He still does the work when nobody's watching. He still battles the voice in his head that tells him he's not good enough, because that voice never goes away. Goggins didn't overcome his demons. He made them run next to him. The mirror moment is available to everyone. You don't need to run 100 miles. You don't need to become a SEAL. You just need to look at yourself honestly and decide that who you are right now is not who you're going to be tomorrow. Goggins wasn't special. He was a 297-pound exterminator who couldn't run a quarter mile. He was told he was stupid. He failed out of the military. He was drinking himself to sleep. And then he decided to change. The question isn't whether you can. The question is whether you're willing to be honest enough to look in the mirror and uncomfortable enough to do something about it. This is the Come Up. Stories of the struggle before the glory. Subscribe for the next episode, Michael Jordan, cut from the team, and how the most competitive athlete in history turned rejection into a weapon. Stay hard. The Come Up. Subscribe, next episode, Michael Jordan.